everybody. How are you guys? We're leaving Pittsburgh, heading south. We're going to be coming up on Morgantown, West Virginia, and I thought I'd share some information I found out about. I don't know really anything about Morgantown, but there was a woman behind me at the get-go, a gas-up place, a few miles back. She was wearing a Morgantown Rocks t-shirt, and the back of her shoe said Morgan, and the right shoe said town. She said she grew up there, and she shared 3 facts about the town with me. I thought I'd share them with you. So Morgantown was founded in 1802, way back. And Morgantown was started by I.P. Morgan, who wanted to build the country music capital of the world. And country music back then had a little bit of a classical tinge to it. If you can imagine Bach mixed with Florida Georgia Line. That's kind of the way the country sounded back then. And then you had the square dance caller influence in Morgantown was very big. So the square dance strain of country music was a prominent force. And so he envisioned a center of country music that had the largest square dance hall in the world. He wanted it to echo on purpose. He wanted people to know it was so big. So if you went, swing your partner round and round and round and round and round. He wanted it to echo like that, guys. First of all, he thought you'd get some extra swirls and twirls for each swing of your partner if the big building had an echo. So you can go to downtown Morgantown today and see this amazing dance hall and country music museum. It's unbelievable, guys. Now, Morgantown was not destined to be the ultimate center of country music like Nashville or, in some people's minds, Omaha, and some people might even say Urbandale, Iowa. But at the time, it was enough interest and religious fervor behind the idea that he was able to develop a whole town around it and named it after himself, Morgantown. Now, fun fact number 2 is that his descendants honored their forefather by building upon the idea and extending the music center. The country music center, they called it, the building itself, by creating a number of other attractions that blended and meshed with the country music world. So, for example, they had the biggest grits restaurant ever known in the New World, from the establishment of the first colonies on the East Coast to that date. Nobody had built a restaurant serving as many grits as they had in the music center. In fact, people would come from miles around. People would come from all the way from Athens, Ohio, just to get them grits. It was the grits. I mean, at a certain point, they thought it was going to be the grits capital of the world. And that the country music idea was not going to take hold, but the grits idea was starting to boom. It was a grits restaurant. Boom! And in fact, at one time, I.P. Morgan's son said to him, "Father, I think we done created a grit sensation." And I.P. said, "Boys, I appreciate the help, but God himself came down and told me this is going to be the country music capital of the world. And if your grits restaurant overtakes me, I'm going to have to burn it to the ground." I mean, that's how they handled things back in the old days, guys. You know, the father didn't mess around. They didn't let the kids run the show like they do today. So the sons were like, "Wow, this guy's serious, man." So they curtailed their grits empire in honor of their father. But the thing about it, you can still see it today. The grits extension off the Country Music Center in Morgantown, West Virginia. And finally, fun fact number 3 that dovetails with the music center. They built what they thought was a revolutionary idea. It was a rolling rink in the shape of a fiddle. So most rolling rinks, you go around in a circle or in an oval type shape. But at this rolling rink connected to the Country Music Center, you traveled in the shape of a fiddle. Okay, like a violin. If you're not familiar with what a fiddle is, maybe you're one of my foreign language, foreign country fans. You don't know what a fiddle is. It's kind of like a violin. And so sometimes you would roller skate around it in the shape of a figure 8. And sometimes these kids would get going so fast on their roller skates that they had to put up a traffic light so that they didn't crash at the nexus of the 8, because they were getting so many injuries, guys. Kids, teenage kids were just falling down like flies. I mean, they had so many ambulances backed up to the fiddle roller rink that they were afraid they were going to have to get some settlers from another part of West Virginia just to replace the people that were in the hospital from the roller rink. But it just shows you to the degree that these people were thinking. And that's a lesson for all of us. You got to think big, guys. So those are 3 fun facts about Morgantown. We're going to have so much more about West Virginia. We're going to head down to Charlotte. We're going to talk about Charlotte in these videos. Guys, I'm on a road trip and you're coming with me. Come on back for more. Yeah.